Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting here at Carlisle. I've lost 1-0 away from home against Harrogate. And look, quite literally, we've been beaten by ourselves today. And it's the Harrogate curse and everything you want to say about that. And Jesus, if we go down this season, at least we won't have to play this lot again. But my God, I'm so angry about that because it was such a good opportunity. And with the results elsewhere, what could have been us coming out of the relegation zone at one point now leaves us 6 points away. And it's so frustrating because both of the other teams in our kind of mini league in Morecambe and Tranmere both... I think Morecambe lost actually in the end, but Tranmere won. And it's just... we need to be winning these kind of games. And look, I think, again, we defended quite well, but I can't help but think that this result has to be on the manager. And I've given Mark Hughes a lot of credit, but why on earth, when you've had success playing with a back four, do you change it and go to a back five? It kills any kind of creativity that we've had, and we've been creative. We'd have good performances with this 4-2-3-1, which is Hughes' style of play. I don't understand why every single manager coming into this club decides they want to play a back five. It doesn't work. And I admit, in instances, Mark Hughes has used it well, where things aren't quite working with the 4-2-3-1, or even he wants to change it up for the last 20 minutes. Even, you think about Barra. In the second half, we kind of switched up and went to a back five. And look, after Aaron Hayden's goal last week, I said it in the video, I was so scared that Hughes was going to ignore his poor performance and say, well, he scored a goal, he needs to stay in the team. And, Hayden didn't particularly do anything wrong, but I don't think he should be starting. We started that game today, and you can call it a 3-4... You can call it a 3-5-2 or something like that. Which isn't the case as well because we started with one striker on the pitch, but it's not a back three, it's a back five, and it kills any kind of forward momentum because, look, there wasn't any really clear-cut chances today, apart from a couple of set-piece instances where I think Terrell Thomas should have scored, but we weren't creative today, and Harrogate weren't a good team, and they've been ill. There's been so many issues with Harrogate. I mean, Harrogate fans will think it's some kind of miracle that last week they managed to get a draw and this week they managed to beat us. Because I think, 7 players trained for Harrogate this week? I mean, my God, you're playing against a team that's been ill for ages. They've got so many players out. They're a very much a weakened team, and you've beaten yourselves. Josh Vella, I don't know why he's come back into the team. He seems to be, instead of Will Patchen coming on, it seems to be Josh Vella, which is just mind-blowing to me how them two can even be mentioned in the same sentence. Will Patching, before Callum Guy came back into the team, was probably one of our best players in that defensive midfield role. Yes, it's not his natural position. Yes, maybe he'd prefer to be further forward in a 10. But him and Whelan as a defensive midfield partnership did so well together. They were so good. They were the only positive spark in what was a really dreadful season. Why on earth are you putting Josh Vella on, who's been underwhelming since he signed for this club? And look, I'm not going to say it's his fault. He scored the own goal today, but I don't think it's his fault. I think it was a nasty deflection, really. But he's been poor every single time he's come on. You lose something when you put Josh Vella on the pitch that I think you don't lose if you put on Patching instead. Because I just don't see what he's good at as a footballer. What's Vella's strength? Is it his tackling? I don't think it is. He's not very good at passing. He can't shoot. What is his strength as a footballer? And we've had players like this in the past where, they seem to get into the team on name alone because obviously he played for Bolton and has played in League One for a lot of his career. But I'm just going to ask you this. What is Vella good at? What does he bring to the team? What is, his thing? You think of players, you think, Dennis, it was his finishing. You think Whelan, it's his passing. Patchen, great tackle, passing. Callum Guy, he's got a fantastic tackle on him. Williams, even though he's a poor player, he had his thing was his pace that managed to get him forward. What's Vella's thing? What's his positive? What's he good at? Because I honestly can't see what he's good at. I don't understand why we've gone back to a back five, especially against this team today, a weak team. If any team you can go on and you can push forward and try and be positive in a 4-2-3-1 system, it's Harrogate. Why on earth have we started with a back five? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I've said, Hughes, he's done really well since he came in at the club. If we'd have managed to hold on for another minute, it would have been 5 games unbeaten today. Yes, there's only 1 win in that, but look, we've still got our game in hand as well, but it was such a good opportunity today. And I know it's Harrogate, I know we never win at Harrogate, but forget that. Forget them stupid little mental blockades that clubs seem to have on each other. It was a poor, weakened team today we played, and they beat us. They didn't deserve to. I think we were the better team. We weren't much better, but I think overall we probably deserved a draw. But we've beaten ourselves. And so many times I've said that this season, and it's frustrating because I thought we turned a corner of some kind, but it was just really, really dire. And we need to be beating teams like Harrogate. We need to be beating them kind of bottom end of the table teams if we're going to stay up this season, which is now looking ever more unlikely with the win against with Tranmere winning. And Morecambe were winning at one point today as well, so who knows? We should have won today, and we've lost. And I can't put across into words how mad that makes me, that we've squandered such a good opportunity. And we've squandered an opportunity to go 5 games unbeaten and to really build on that momentum, because it's momentum that's killed us since we went up into League One. It's momentum. It's just we've started seasons badly, and we haven't been able to change that momentum. I finally thought like we were starting to turn things around, but that's really poor, especially after such a good performance against Warsaw. And look, I think we're good defensively. I think, it took us to score for us to concede. We're good defensively. Breeze is a fantastic keeper, but if we can't score goals, it's just not going to happen. And who was up top today? Sedwin Scott on his own. That you can't do that. You can't have Sedwin Scott on his own. He's not tall. You lose the build-up play from the likes of Dennis, who wasn't even in the squad today. I assume through injury. I hope it's not. I hope it's more fitness related. He's coming to the team after not playing for a while and played every game. Maybe he just needed a rest. I hope that's the case, but you really missed something there. Kelly's back into the squad. It'll be 5 minutes before he's out injured again. I'm very surprised he made it through the last 20 minutes he was given. But if you're going to start with a back five, don't have one up top. You know what I mean? Like, at least try something. Because I like Sedwin Scott. I think he's a good player. But he just doesn't have the build-up play that the likes of Dennis has. Or, like, he can't hold the ball up, can Sedwin Scott. I think he's alright at finishing. I think he's got a bit of skill about him. And he's that kind of player. He almost works really well. And he has worked really well in that kind of right... the kind of right winger in a 4-2-3-1. And I think that role really suits him. But playing him as a lone striker, what do you expect? Do you expect to score when you've got Sedwin Scott as your lone striker? It's not going to work. He scored 1 goal this season. He scored what? That's 1 goal in, I think, 3 years or something like that. You can't have him as a lone striker. It just doesn't work. Maybe have Hugo on as well. Maybe go to that front two, which if we go to a back five, we usually start with a front two. But I'd say please get Aaron Hayden out of the team. Go to your back four that was working. And go back to your 4-2-3-1 system, which was working, which Hughes has done for pretty much all of his career. He's switched things up. He's gone to a back five before when you look at some things he tried out at Stoke, but please just learn from this and don't go with a back five again. Please just start with that back four that was working in Davis, Harper, Lavelle and Thomas, and just build a bit of momentum, because I thought a big strength Hughes had is that he would stick with a team and that he wouldn't change things, and players were starting to learn their roles in a system, which when we've been chopping and changing every single week for the last 2 years, players haven't had the opportunity to do. So why change the entire system again? Why change the personnel again when things were working? players were starting to get used to each other. Players are starting to get used to the positions that they're playing. Don't go back to a system that consistently hasn't worked this season for us. It just seems like madness. But, you know, obviously he's the one that's in training every week. But it just is really frustrating. But yeah, is it just the Harrogate curse? Because, look, I'm not going to sit here and believe in magic. We need to be getting results against teams like this, as I've said repeatedly now. But it just gives us more of a mountain to climb. And look, if we win our game in hand, we're only 3 points away. But I wanted to be one game away from being out of this position, because we've been in the relegation zone for so long now. You know, we were, before coming into this game, the situation was we had a game in hand, and if we'd won that game in hand, we'd have gone out of the relegation zone. Now we're 6 points behind Tranmere. And yes, we've still got that game in hand, but we've gone from being one game away to now being two with less games to play. And that, you know, if Tranmere start to put a bit of form together, things might be over without us really having a say in the matter. Look, we can't go down. We just can't go down to the National League. It will absolutely destroy this club. And I don't think people realise how different and how difficult it'll be if we go down. Attendances will absolutely drop. You know, the money earned through just, you know, the club's got a lot of money this season, and a lot of league clubs have, because of the TV deal that we've now got with Sky. That's gone if we go down. You know, we're not a professional club, and a National League club is so much less attractive as a prospect than a Football League club, and it's going to be so damaging when we get relegated from this league. I just really hope that Hughes can somehow get us out of this mess that's been created by poor investment in the playing squad and the managing staff. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm absolutely gutted with that. You know, you can lose, but don't lose like that. That's just so killing. If there's anything that can kill positive momentum, it's that. And it's so gutting, and yet weirdly expected because it was Harrogate. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.